We continue on page 46. Please rise, physically or spiritually, for the Amidah.
Adonai Sifetai Tiftach Ufi Yagita Hilateka. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoker Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Moshiach Ruach u'Mari Hagashem, Mechalkel Chaim be'Chesed, Mechaye hakol be'Rachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim ve'Rofei Kolim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mechayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mikamoka Ba'Giverot, U'Midom Melach, Melech Memit U'Mechaye, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atalak Hayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'Kol Yom Yahalu Kasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We're going to continue privately through pages 62 and 63, and each person should pray at their own pace. Whenever you're finished, feel free to be seated. think of Israel, I think of all the special and wonderful places I've been, and one of them is Kibbutz Gezer, which has a really cool baseball field. Page 259, a prayer for Israel. Together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Fountainhead of all life, you who rained your blessings on our mothers Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, and on our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, causing their seed to sprout and grow and thrive not only in a land flowing but in the desert places too, may you likewise shower us, their offspring, and those near to us, with a recovery of wholeness, a restoration of the contents in their vessel. May you pour your healing into the barren furrows of those parched by illness and pain, dried out by distancing and despair. Just as you have given us your Torah, the waters of life, as a source of help for all time, so may you send the waters of healing to all who thirst for peace, for wholeness, for shlemut. Mishberach can be found on page 253. Oh, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. All right, maybe I can't be center field, but Mookie Betts can. I know that some of you are serious fans and others have only the most passing relationship to baseball, so let me explain a couple of things. Mookie Betts is one of our great stars, and most sports talking heads have predicted that he'll be chosen the most valuable player of the regular season in the American League. Normally, he plays right field, but tonight's game is at Dodger Stadium, a National League park, and baseball has decided that World Series games played in National League parks are played by National League rules. That means the pitcher bats for himself. There is no designated hitter, as there is in the American League. In order to get Boston's other best player, J.D. Martinez, the designated hitter normally, into the lineup, there was talk that manager Alex Cora might put him into right and move Mookie to center field. As it turns out, Cora came up with another solution, but Mookie is such a good outfielder that it really doesn't matter where he plays. Sox fans are going to be cheering for Betts to have a great night, and Dodger fans will be cheering for him to do badly. That's how sports works. You have your team loyalties. Of course, we know that there is only one appropriate team to cheer for, but there you go. When we take a look at the Torah portion for today, Vayera, there are also two teams. And again, it's pretty obvious which one to cheer for. Abraham is the epitome of hospitality, of taking care of others. The previous portion, Lech Lecha, had ended with Abraham's self-circumcision at the age of 99. Not surprisingly, he then sits outside his tent in the heat of the day, recovering. The parasha begins with the phrase, Vayera elav Adonai. Adonai appeared to him, that is to Abraham. And then immediately we're told that Abraham looks up and sees Shlosha Anashim, 3 men standing in front of him. They turn out to be angels, but anyway, he runs to them, and the Torah then writes, Vayomer Adonai, Imna matzati chen be'einecha, al na ta'avor me'al avdecha. In the translation in our commentary, that reads, My lords, if I have found favor in your sight, please do not pass your servant by. He offers them food and drink and asks them to stay with him. This is a perfectly appropriate, straightforward way of translating the text. The Hebrew word Adonai can mean my lords, which would be the correct language for addressing honored guests. However, the sages were always willing to come up with more exotic ways of seeing texts, and they do so here. As Rabbi Jonathan Sachs has explained, they would have preferred a different translation. Please, Adonai, if I have now found favor in your sight, please do not pass by from your servant. This translation assumes that Adonai in the text actually means not my lords, please my lords, but please Adonai, that is God. In other words, Abraham is speaking to God, who would still be there from the start of the story, and he is presuming to talk before God can even say anything, and to say to God, with you in a minute, I have to see to my guests first. The Torah is teaching that hospitality, kindness to strangers, is so important that we'd even make God wait while we took care of it. So, that's our team. Now contrast that to what the rabbis tell us of Sodom and Gomorrah, cities in which there were not even 10 righteous persons. In Jewish tradition, the sin of Sodom is quite clear. It's not showing kindness. It's being the anti-Abraham. Listen to this summary of rabbinic texts as it appears in our Union for Reform Judaism Torah commentary. Of Sodom it was written that it was well watered everywhere. It possessed all the luxuries of the world, and its inhabitants were unwilling to share them with others. They punished everyone who offered food to a stranger. They even pruned their fig trees so that the birds would not eat of them. Rabbi Hiya said, They deserve punishment for their uncharitableness. For whoever grudges assistance to the poor does not deserve to exist in this world, and also forfeits life in the world to come. So we're thinking about another context. Contrariwise, those who are generous toward the poor deserve to exist in the world, and it is for their sake that the world exists, and the fullness of life is reserved for them in the world to come. Now, when I read about a place that possesses all the luxuries of the world and is about to be struck down, it's true that Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills does come to my mind, but that's really not where I want to take this. Rather, as we saw, there are two teams in this Torah portion. There's the team of Abraham and hospitality to those in need, and there is the team of Sodom and hostility to those in need. And that brings us back to Mookie Betts. You all remember the weather on Wednesday night when the Red Sox won Game 2 of the series. It was very cold. In fact, several Dodgers are saying how glad they are to be going back to Los Angeles to get out of playing in the frigid temperatures. Of course, there are homeless people on the streets of Boston who don't have that opportunity. According to a story that came from WEEI Radio, after the game, at about 1:45 in the morning, not that long after the game because of how the games are running, but that's also another matter. Anyway, at 1:45 in the morning, Mike Winter, a VIP host at area nightclubs, was coming out of Storyville in the Back Bay. He saw two men in hoodies taking about 10 trays of food from a shopping cart. They were giving the food to a line of homeless people who were standing in front of the Boston Public Library. The outside of the library is a well-known gathering spot for the homeless of Boston. Winter saw the men walking all the way around the library to let all these people know that food was available. As Winter approached, he recognized that one of the men was Mookie Betts. He later learned that the other man was Mookie's cousin. Winter and Betts have a mutual friend, so he said hello to the player. He then saw that patrons of the club had come out and had also recognized Mookie. At that point, Mookie just left with his cousin. He clearly did not want to be acknowledged, did not want pictures taken to publicize what he was doing. According to Winter, after Betts and his cousin left, the homeless continued to take the food from the cart and distribute it to those who wanted it. They even offered some to the inebriated celebrants coming out of the bars. Many of the homeless did not know that their benefactor was the putative MVP, and that is just how he wanted it. As you can hear, the story made its way out regardless. I learned of it on a Facebook post by a friend, both Facebook and actual. Rabbi Jason Rosenberg serves Congregation Beth Am down in Tampa, Florida. When I reposted the story, he wrote this: "Speaking as a lifetime diehard Yankee fan, if you don't like Mookie Betts, then you don't like baseball, or, I assume, anything good in this world." It takes a lot to bring Yankee and Red Sox fans together, but this is one thing that does. I hope that we can do more than applaud Mookie. I'd like us to follow his example. Right after Shabbat, please consider making a donation to a local food pantry or to Mazon, a Jewish response to hunger. It's easy and it's rewarding. As for the game tonight, I like our chances. And as for that other game, well, with Mookie in our lineup, we can beat Sodom and bring home fullness of life in this world and the world to come. Ken Yehi Ratzon, be this God's will.
Beat the drum and hold the so long, a moment in the sun. It's gone and you can't tell that one goodbye. So put me in close, I'm ready to play today. Put me in close, I'm ready to play today. Look at me, stand and feel.
We continue on page 282 with Aleinu.